and make your second chance count.
You can't put a price on the first sip of champion beer. So we didn't. Get an extra 60 mil on us.
There they are. Cheryl Roberts comes into the studio very shortly, and she will be talking about whether there is still racism in South African sport. It's going to be a great conversation when we look back at the fact that yesterday was Heritage Day, so can't wait for that. And then, there they are. Bricks as well as Cleo are back in the saddle again. The beef is over. It's the biggest story in South African music, and we will talk to them as they take on the quiz a little bit later on. But let's get back to Durban, where I've got Keegan Dolly as well as Kermit Erasmus standing by to get into your questions and find out a little bit about what the viewers are having to say. So, gentlemen, are you both ready to engage with the Sport at 10 viewers tonight?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Before we get to those questions, though, I just want to hear from you. What can we expect, and what do you need South Africans to do as we build up to Guinea-Bissau up against the Bafana Bafana side, and as well as the Angola game in East London? How can we as South Africans make those games more successful?
Yeah, well, I think if we try and fill up the stadium, you know, it's always a good feeling to play at home in front of your own supporters, and you know, it's just that extra boost you need as a player, you know, knowing that people are behind you and supporting you. Obviously you'll do your best, and seeing that we're preparing for the World Cup and AFCON qualifiers, you know, I think if the stadiums are filled up and we do our best and we win the next two games, we'll get the confidence we need going into the crucial games for the World Cup qualifiers.
Keegan, I'm staying with you. First question comes from Yvonne Mangunda, who says, do you miss being part of the CBD?
Yeah, look, obviously I'll miss Sundowns, I miss the PSL, you know, like Kermit says, the Kasi flavor. But I don't regret the decision I made, you know. I've always wanted to play in Europe. I've always wanted to you know, inspire the other youngsters and show to them that it is possible. So, yeah, I'm happy with my move.
And then I'm going to D. Williams One King. That's what he calls himself. And this question goes to you, Kermit. He says, Thomas, please ask Kermit if he still plays as a striker, because I heard he's an attacking midfielder now in France.
Yeah, I play as number 10 in my team, and the reason for that is because I can play, I'm very good at playing in between the lines and getting the ball in small spaces and creating chances for the strikers. So that's the position I play, and sometimes I play on the left, but we don't play with...
Where have you been working with Owen Dagama? What position are you working with Bafana Bafana? Where will we see you?
As a striker, as an out-and-out striker.
Right at the top?
I play as an out-and-out striker at Bafana because we have a lot of players that can play as a 10. You know, so for me, my natural position is an out-and-out striker, making those crucial runs behind the defense, you know, and creating space for the players that play in between the lines, you know, stretching the defense basically, and waiting for that final pass.
Only one goal so far in a Bafana jersey. We need to up that, eh?
Yes, of course. Hopefully we can do that on Saturday.
He looks so serious, man. He looks so serious. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. The questions aren't so hard, guys. You don't have to look scared. The final question, and you both can be involved here. Tebucho X says, what influenced your moves to Europe from SA's big teams? Money or your agents?
Our dreams, I guess. I think since I started playing football, it's always been my dream to move abroad, you know, and I've always been following the English Premiership, you know, the football that they play overseas, and I always admired the players from overseas.
Kermit?
It was just basically to go back to Europe. For me, it was just basically to go back to Europe because coming from Europe, I knew what it was like. I think I was a bit too young to go there when I first went, so I had a different mindset on how I should take it and how I should challenge it. And you know, it took me 5 years to get back, and I'm happy to be back. As they say, hard work pays off.
It has. And we can't wait to see both of you showing us what it is that you've been doing in France and reflecting that on the pitch for Bafana Bafana Saturday as well as Tuesday. Get your tickets. Make sure you're there in the flesh to support Bafana Bafana as they take on Angola on Tuesday, take on Guinea-Bissau on Saturday, and we'll also bring you those encounters right here on SABC Sport on radio as well as on television. So make sure, if you can't be there physically, that you do listen to the radio or see it on our broadcast channels. However, let's move on to what is coming up next. And Cheryl Roberts comes into the studio. Yesterday was Human Rights Day. Cheryl, is there still racism in South African sport? Surely not. Find out after this.